So Jesus, according to Christianity, died on the cross. He was dead for a number of days, and then he came back from the dead and told his followers to basically go on teaching Christianity. As for us in Islam, we have a completely different and unique understanding. And the fact of the matter, it is so unique that to this day, people who are studying Islam and are not Muslim, they're scratching their head. Why would an Arabian prophet make such a big deal about an obscure aspect of Jesus' death? Why is the Quran having a narrative that is so different from everything else in the books of history? Allah says in the Quran, وَقَوْلِهِمْ إِنَّا قَتَلْنَا الْمَسِيحَ ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ. They boast, they meaning the children of Israel, they boast, we have killed Jesus the son of Mary. Then Allah says, and memorize this phrase, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ. They neither killed him, nor did they crucify him, but rather it was made to appear to them that this had occurred. شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ. Something happened that they assumed that Jesus had been killed, but he had not been killed. They neither killed him nor crucified him. Then Allah says, and those who disagree about what happened are themselves full of doubt. في شك ما لهم به من علم. They have no certainty. إلا اتباع الظن. They're following guesswork. وما قتلوه يقينا. For a certainty they did not kill him. Now, why is the Quran so adamant that Isa was not killed? Isa was not crucified. Why is the Quran saying anybody who says otherwise is speaking out of guesswork? This is because the only one who knows what happened is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everybody else, even the eyewitnesses, did not know the reality. Even the eyewitnesses assumed something. As for Jesus' followers, they did not see, they fled. They would have been killed as well. So the people around him were the Bani Israel and the pagan Romans. And they saw an image. They thought it was Jesus. This entity was killed. So they said, he has been killed. And Allah says, no, they neither killed him nor crucified him. Whoever says so is in doubt. I have ilm al-yaqeen. The Quran is saying, Allah is saying, whoever speaks otherwise is in doubt. وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ يَقِينًا بَلْ رَفَعَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَيْهِ. Allah raised him up to himself. Now what exactly happened? Here, dear brothers and sisters, the Quran doesn't tell us the details. And the Sunnah does not give us any more. So what we have is interpretations. So whatever interpretation one follows, as long as the Quranic wording is met, that is fine. There is a diversity of thought. The majority of our scholars, the majority of Muslim historians, and this is history, this is not theology. You don't have to believe this, but it is what our scholars have said, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala substituted another person to be on the cross who looked like Jesus. Who was that person? Most say it was the traitor, Judas Iscariot. It was the traitor who betrayed Jesus. Allah punished him by making him look like Jesus. When the Roman soldiers entered the garden, they saw this person, they thought him to be Jesus. They persecuted him, killed him, tortured him because he deserved that death. Another interpretation, one of the disciples of Jesus volunteered to become that entity so that Jesus could be saved. Whatever it might be, the majority interpretation is called the substitution theory. Somebody else was on the cross. And by the way, very interesting. In early Christianity, there was a small group of Christians, pre-Islam, who actually believed that Jesus was not on the cross. Somebody else was on the cross. And this is a group called the Gnostic Christians. So we have this notion that once again Islam comes. By the time Islam comes, nobody believes this in 600 CE. But the Quran comes and makes it a central tenet of our faith. We believe Jesus did not die. We believe Jesus was not crucified. No Christian on earth believed that. But the Quran made a very firm case in this regard because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. And the Quran also tells us that on the Day of Judgment, Allah will ask Jesus, did you tell your followers to worship you? Did you tell your followers to make you into a god? And Jesus will say, Subhanak, praise be to you. I never said to them anything that you didn't allow me to say to them. All that I said to them, that they should worship my God and your God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But whoever changed after me, I am not in control over them. So Allah Azza wa Jal will verify Jesus never preached the Trinity. Jesus never preached redemption. Jesus never preached this notion that he is divine or the Son of God. And the Quran mentions as well, indicates, it's not explicit, The Quran indicates, but the hadith is explicit, that Isa shall return towards the end of times. Isa did not die. Isa was not crucified. But رَفَعَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَيْهِ, Allah raised him up to himself. Then Allah says, there are two verses that indicate he shall come back. Allah says in Surah Al Imran, وَإِن مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا لَيُؤْمِنَنَّ بِهِ قَبْلَ مَوْتِهِ. Every single person of the people of the book shall eventually believe in Jesus before Jesus dies. What does it mean that every person, every Christian will believe in Jesus before Jesus dies? What does it mean? Our scholars have interpreted based upon the hadith that when Jesus returns, every Christian alive will recognize Jesus, and so they shall embrace the true faith of Jesus Christ. And in Surah Zukhruf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, verse 61, وَإِنَّهُ لَعِلْمٌ لِلسَّاعَةِ. Jesus Christ is one of the knowledge and the signs of the day of judgment. Jesus Christ, وَإِنَّهُ is Jesus Christ here. Jesus Christ, His coming shall signal the coming of the day of judgment. So there are two verses in the Quran that indirectly indicate, and there are over 30 ahadith that directly mention, we believe Isa shall come back to this earth. That is our belief, and it is also the belief of Christians. The difference is, Christians believe He will come as the Son of God. We believe He will come as the Prophet and the worshipper of God. And when He comes, no two people will disagree about Him, that He is not the Son of God. He is not one of a Trinity, but rather He is the Abd and the Rasul and the Kalima of Allah that He gave to Maryam alayhi salam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless me and you with and through the Quran, and may He make us of those who His verses they understand and applies halal and haram throughout our lifespan. I ask Allah's forgiveness, you as well ask Him, for He is the Ghafoor and the Rahman.